bordering on Hindi. Yeah.
I was going for Russian, but the Russian is not my best language.
Oh no, the Russian is very good.
Work on it. You're getting better.
The Russian is very good.
My Ruski is a little Ruski.
What's that one with Sigourney Weaver and she sings the song in the movie?
Sigourney Weaver singing a song?
Yeah.
I didn't know she sang.
Oh.
The only thing I remember her from is like Aliens. And then she was in a movie where she had agoraphobia and she couldn't go outside. The one with Harry Connick Jr.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
She had like agoraphobia. She couldn't go outside. She was like.
Oh, that was a fantastic movie. She was like a CIA ex-agent or something like that.
Something like that, where she was a writer. She was trying to help solve a crime from inside of her apartment, and she just had great anxiety anytime she left the apartment.
Yeah, and it was a copycat.
That's it. Because it was about the copycat.
Oh, yeah. Harry Connick was the nuts guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that now. That's been a long time.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't pay attention. I don't remember her having agoraphobia, but I guess she did.
Right. Let's see if this
one of the
works.
case studies we did when we like reviewed movies for case studies.
Right.
I'm trying to look up Math Pig's channel, and I just looked up Harry Potter. Harry Potter, you come to Hogwarts.
How did you get from Russian to Harry Potter?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Probably London's close to Ireland. I don't know.
I mean, if you typed in vodka, I could understand it more than Harry Potter.
Yeah, I think we're live.
Oh yeah, we've been live for like the last couple of minutes.
Oh yeah.
I'll start not behaving then.
Oh no, well we're gonna start with this because of your age, John, you might like Sigourney Weaver in this outfit.
So you've got your own business and you're doing
Oh
everything
yeah,
you can to
adverts
promote
and
it.
aren't they?
The marketing doesn't always have to be so.
Well, that bike does it for him.
I love to watch a woman eat. It is surely one of the most sensual acts.
We have to comment over it so we don't get done for something. There we go.
We can comment afterwards. Fair privacy, fair use act. Turn it up a little.
Oh, hold on, I'll swap TVs. Better? Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Gene Hackman.
Yep.
It's like me singing most songs.
I was gonna say that's what happens to me every time I do karaoke.
La la da da.
La da da. Never mind. That's it.
Oh yeah, she was an Avatar too.
Yeah, she's pretending to be a Russian. She's a spy, I think, in this.
Flew from Miami Beach, the OAC. Didn't get to bed last night.
Oh, yes.
This reminds me of Blazing Saddles when she sings.
Okay, you're all showing your age because I ain't seen
The
that.
lips. Yeah.
You don't know how lucky you are, boy.
It is like Blazing Saddles. I can't get
Like,
that out of my head.
tired of playing the game.
I'm so tired.
Fucking tired. Let's face it, I'm fucking tired. Let's just say I'm moved.
Back in the USSR.
Beatles.
Oh,
So you've got
Still
your own
bad,
business,
though.
and you're doing everything you can to promote it.
Still
But
bad.
marketing doesn't always have to be so out there.
Right, let's get rid of that shit.
Could you?
That was a good opener. Everybody's all excited now and horny because of Sigourney Weaver. So there you go.
Really?
I don't
That's
know.
great.
Maybe that's just me. But when she comes out of that room dressed in that giant robot and says, "Get away from her, you bitch," I don't know.
I thought Sigourney Weaver was sexy and Alien. The very
Hold on.
first one.
Something's happening, man. There's a load.
Didn't get to bed.
I feel like that's pretty much the only one that she was really like. Yeah, she was pretty badass in that one.
Can anybody post the link in the chat?
Like Demi Moore in
For some strange reason, John, I have the disability to copy and paste into OBS. OBS will not let me paste
you
into
got
it.
it?
I don't have moderator rights to paste in your live stream.
Well, then say big ditties or something, and I'll fucking moderate you after that. Like, how do you not have moderate? No, you messenger. There you go. Do you not?
No, I don't. No, I've been shunned.
Okay, there you go. Okay, crying for a spanner. There's a spanner. Post a link for Jefferson Spatchcock.
Will do.
Although in saying that, I'm a little unsure about doing it. But if it is,
No, it'll be good.
what is your first name in real life, Jefferson? If you can answer that question, I will let you in from backstage. Oh, look at Be Mindful flashing their blue fucking name. No? I'm all blue.
Oh yeah.
Gio, thank you very much for turning up to absolutely nothing.
Gio is doing the I'm so tired.
Okay, right. John, you were saying some really serious stuff before I kicked you out of the stream.
How are you muted now?
I don't know.
He's muting his mic individually because
I said I lost what I was thinking because I got booted.
you're lost because
We
you're.
were talking about needing affirmation
Ah,
and
yeah.
how dangerous that is.
And
You're
that's
basically
it.
giving your power away to somebody. I need you to give me more power. I don't have my own power.
Yeah, it was basically saying I need you for my own sense of well-being, and I need you for my sense of esteem. I need you for my sense of love, rather than just having it. All right, here comes that link. Boom. Come join us in StreamYards. You'll be backstage. Be sure to say, "Hey, I'm here." Is Matt Big kind of?
Well, I put the question out. If they can't answer the question,
Oh yeah, you must answer. What is your first name, Jefferson Spatchcock? He said, I used to go by the username Disembodied Dead. Had to ditch that email. I know who
Yes.
Jefferson Spatchcock is.
yeah, supposedly, but I have been on a stream where a person said I have changed my username because of X, and when they get invited in, they flashed a penis.
Well, I will know if they are by the way they speak.
Yes, but that means we have to let them on. By that stage, they've already flashed their penis.
I'll vouch for both the Pasic boys.
No,
Yes,
he's
we.
saying-
Oh,
he's
you've
saying-
given it away. You see,
He-
thanks, Richard. Thanks, you've ruined it all. You've given away the secret password.
Richard missed the point. I think what he was saying is, I want them to say who they are. Who is Disembodied Dead?
Yeah. That's where he was going with that.
Yeah.
I have DMs with Disembodied Dead in Discord. I could just,
Say the
you know.
only spatchcock I know is how to spatchcock a chicken, and if you haven't had it, look it up. It's really good.
Okay, Jay's
Have you
here.
picked it that way?
Jay's here.
Absolutely.
Jay, can you vouch for Jefferson Spatchcock?
Wait for it. 7, 6, 5. Could have the 10-second delay.
No, I don't mind if you flash your penis. I just want to know whose penis we're seeing, Jefferson. That's all. Like, random penis is no good. Like, you're blocked. Or sorry, you're muted, John. You're muted.
I'm tired of being muted.
It's your own fault. You're using your mic mute.
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
Okay, Jay has vouched for Jefferson Spatch. Hello, Jefferson.
I hear breathing.
I do. Heavy breathing.
It's a prank caller.
Oh no.
Penis.
It's because I'm getting ready to flash my penis.
Is your
Penis.
refrigerator running? You better catch it.
Not gonna flash my penis. Not gonna flash it.
Thank God.
Is Mr. Walls there?
We should get Jay in. Jay, come on. We've got a spot for you, Jay.
Walls there? Are there any walls there?
I'm still unsure.
Yeah.
You have
Sorry.
Prince Albert in a can.
Messenger, what do you think? Is that? Is it? Is it Jeff?
It is. Okay.
Jeff.
Have you seen?
I-
Hey, Matt, have you seen Michael Hunt?
I can prove this. to you, Matt.
He goes by Mike.
Yeah. No. I'm never gonna say my cunt. Shit.
Has anybody
Matt,
seen Mike Hunt?
Mathpick, you and I had spoken a while about I'm planning on taking a trip to the UK and I'm planning on visiting Ireland specifically, and you and I had a lengthy discussion about the canals. You
Yes.
told me to rent a boat and to use the canals.
Well, I said that would be a lot of fun, and it's something that I've wanted to do myself. But yes,
You have. So, and if you don't recognize my voice, you know.
I recognize your voice.
Okay, yeah, Messenger does. Messenger vouches for me. And I promise I will not show my penis. And even if I did
Thank
try to
you.
show my penis, you might not be able to see it.
oh no, there you are. It's definitely Jeff. I just picked up on a mannerism. Your voice is slightly different. You may have a cold, but I just picked up on a mannerism. That's fine.
Okay. All right, good. Anyway, nice to see you guys. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't want to change my username. The disembodied dead thing was going good. That Gmail account got compromised. It got shitloads of spam and a bunch of other crazy stuff happened. And I
Stop making your password 12345. Okay.
I did. I now make it 75.
Fine.
That's the password to my luggage.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I make it 987654.
It's
8675309. Yeah. Oh, you were going there too, were you?
I was.
Okay.
Tommy Two-Tone.
It's a Saturday night. Everybody's going there. Yeah.
I am annoyed because the chat will not appear on screen. How annoying is that?
That's weird. Why is it not showing up?
The chat?
I have the chat.
I have a chat.
No,
have
I
the live chat.
Screen I'm in.
I mean on the actual live stream, the chat should.
You're talking about the comments. They're not showing up in.
OBS is
Maybe-
being no. Jeff, we use StreamYards to chat, but I crop it and I send it through OBS.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So the actual comments are not popping up on stream.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, you're trying to make them pop up in the StreamYard window?
In Streamlabs.
Yeah, he usually sticks it on there, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
if
know
you're
what
watching the live stream, it should be popping up in the.
Yeah, you pop up a chat like you flag one.
Yep, should be working, but as usual, we have.
I've never used StreamYard, so I don't have a clue even how to help you.
Well, I'm gonna add it one more time, and that'll be the third fucking time, and I ain't doing it again after that. So you just get back to talking about the meaning of life and give me 30 seconds, and then I'll come and ruin everything.
I mean, I just learned, John, how to stick this headphone mic into my laptop that I just bought. So I feel like I'm moving up in the world. Yeah.
There you go.
No. How do you do it?
Life goals.
You gotta stick your tongue out when you do it.
Messenger, are you growing a beard?
You like that shit?
I do. It's frosty. It's lengthy. You've got it sculpted too, but you're not doing the mustache, are you?
No, no mustache.
Just the beard and then maybe a soul tooth.
Go
Kinda
low
thing?
or go home.
If you
Yep,
grow
yep.
it long enough, you could grow it to a point and go for the whole evil Satan look.
I'm going for the full thing. I went from I did the no shave November, and now I'm going straight into December, and I'm hoping for a January and a February. So by March, I hope that I look like a complete derelict.
Now, do you have white in your beard?
I do, unfortunately.
Okay.
Let me,
I knew you and Jay were getting up in the 40s. Oh yeah, you got a little bit. Yes,
Yeah.
you do. Yes, you do, Brett. Yes, you do.
yeah, the beard's not.
I like
It ain't
it.
that big.
I got gray.
Yeah, I think I actually have the same shaped beard as Math Pig. It's just that it's white, and that's mostly because of alcohol abuse and French genes. So
Especially the French alcohol abuse.
Well, Matt Pig has a tendency towards. I mean, he likes, you know, the Hobbit leaf and the wine. And yet, I don't see a speck of gray in that beard.
No, not a bit, man. But I'm only 36.
Too young. Yeah, he's too young.
He's a wee lad. He's a wee
In
lad.
saying that now, it was less than
I had-
6 months ago that my first grey beard did actually appear in it, and it wasn't there the night before because I trimmed it, and I woke up the next morning and went and brushed it and shit myself and went to the girlfriend and got her to pull it out. It
You
was
know,
like, where the fuck did that come from? Do these things not like just, you know, work their way in? Like that wasn't there last night. It's like I'm gonna wake up one morning and be completely grey.
You're making me feel really insecure because my first gray hair showed up at 21, so I'm guessing my genes are just garbage.
I wouldn't be worried about the grey hairs at 21, man. Your head sort of egg shaped. I'd be more worried about that. Did you come out first?
No. I was, as a twin, I was a leisurely second. I slid out after I kicked my brother out. I slid out holding a martini in one hand and a cigarette in the other.
I'm only joking, man. I'm just living up to my aggressive nature. People say I'm aggressive in the chat. I'm just trying to live up to my nature, you know.
That sounds like culture was in there. Are they saying that because you're Irish? Maybe we can just like challenge them on that. I think
Oh no, just because I'm me. I'm an asshole because I'm me. I could be fucking USA, American. I could be Brazilian. If I was me, I'd still be an asshole.
Hey, Matt, you had nothing on Unirock, who was interrupting Steve constantly on his own channel.
I thought Unirock 2 and Steve were best buds.
No, they are friends. But I'm telling you that Unirock on Steve's channel interrupted Steve more during that stream than you've interrupted anybody ever on your stream. So you got a lot of work to do.
Hold on, there's a wee bit of wine left. Give me an hour.
you just presented Matt Pig with a challenge.
I see, that is the thing,
I
man,
don't
right?
feel interrupted enough.
You joke about this, right? But you go past a fucking sign that says you're 45 minutes from Belfast. You're like, oh, am I? Well, fuck, let me check that shit.
See, in the U.S., we say, hold my beer. He
Yeah.
says, wait a minute, I have a wee bit more wine. Same difference. It means the same thing.
I know we still use hold my beer here.
Oh,
So, yes.
Yeah, Geo's
Hold my lead.
we're gonna have a bearduary. A bearduary.
What are we all doing for New Year's Eve? Because my woman either has to work Christmas Day or she has to work New Year's Eve. So she's working New Year's Eve, and I'm all alone on New Year's Eve. Anybody want a New Year's Eve party?
That might actually be kind of cool.
Well, that would last for hours because we would move across the world. We could actually get Remember Sammy Jenkins in if we could, because he's obviously off. He's in Australia. So we could.
Oh, God.
I have a
He's
friend.
the first one, then.
Yeah, and then I have a friend of mine in Thailand, and then me, and then we've East
Second
Coast, and we can work our way right across to Jay, who'll end up doing an 8-hour long fucking stream.
He did that because he was, you know, he was
Really
in
high?
demand at the time.
Really, really, really high.
So
I don't know.
GeoSam has a
Maybe.
question. He says, anyone see Skylar and Matt debate tonight on Modern Day Debate?
No, because I was watching Richard and Snake was right.
me too.
I don't think.
Why did
I
I
don't
not
think.
get a notification for Richard's stream? That's really
Yeah,
cool.
Skylar
It was-
and Matt.
it
didn't
was on
actually have a
Snake.
debate tonight, right?
Yes, they did.
Messenger.
did.
Well,
It's on.
Todd
It was
told
on
me-
Snake's channel.
yeah, Todd told me it was kind
Oh,
of
it
the
was
same
on
thing
Snake
again, so I
channel.
didn't go look.
I don't have Snake as a sub.
Snake was right.
I'm gonna look it up. Snake.
What- Did they have that debate on Modern Day Debate?
No,
Correct.
Snake. Oh, that one's
Okay.
yeah.
He's
I
talking
know.
about Skylar and Matt.
Of course, yes, of course. I just need to mute myself for a minute. Hold on.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that. I wasn't sure if like Matt Slick was coming on to Skylar's show or how that was working out. So
Yeah, it ended up on James's channel.
okay.
But it was the same damn thing they did the last time.
Which is why I didn't watch.
Skylar asking questions that Matt won't answer, and then Skylar interrupting Matt as he doesn't answer the question. I mean, it was the same shit twice in a row. Like, Matt's not going to have a genuine conversation with anybody. He's very reminiscent of Darth Dawkins, very reminiscent of Jill. They just don't want to answer any questions. They don't want to have a rational discussion. All they want to do is run their fucking script, proselytize their religion, and have no, honest dialogue at all, which is just maddening. That what's the point of having a conversation or a debate? You think you're winning points, like, hey, we're going to win some people from the atheist over to the Christian side, or hey, we're going to win some Christians over to the atheist side. No, you're never going to get anywhere that's meaningful, because neither one of you are saying anything meaningful.
I think me and B were talking about it before, and we were talking about which stream to watch, and I says, well, you can probably predict about 70% of the stream between Matt and Skylar, so we'll go watch Richard.
Yep, that's
I wish
exactly right.
I wish I knew about that one. I would have been there.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. No, but you're right. Some of these guys are so close-minded, they don't even want to hear the other side. And it's just the same. It's the same repertoire over and over and over again.
Do you want to hear something that's been set up that's going to be another repertoire over and over and over and over again? Vosh v. Kenthoven has been set up.
On Modern Day Debate?
I'm not sure where it's been set up. It'll probably be in Vosh's channel, but Vosh v. Kenthoven. And, I don't know if you know of Vosh, but he's totally picking on,
I know who Vosh is. I don't like a lot of his stuff.
In less than a year, he's gained a lot of subs. He's picking on that whole subgroup.
He's got a lot of viewers, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'd never heard of him before. He had that debate on MDD with Jill.
Right.
Where he asked Jill if Jill was.
There's
sort of classic moment where he's asking Jill whether or not he's black or not, if he's a white supremacist.
There's a very good video of him. I think it's 2 hours long, and he actually
would be like, "Hey, this is coming from a black man," and then like, "Oh, so you're saying you're black?" He goes, "No, I'm not black." I'm like, Jill, you just said this is coming from a black man. That really is screwing with the liberals. But then somebody goes, "So you're saying that you're a black man?" He's like, "No, I'm not a black man. I identify as a Christian, and that's it." And I'm like, "You just said you were black." "No, I didn't." And I'm like,
"Yeah."
Jill, am I hearing shit?
Vosh plays to a lot of kids.
As black, it fucks up his opponent. That's it.
I think Vosh plays to a lot of 18 and 19-year-old kids who think they're liberal and very left and sort of want to grab onto that. He's more political than anything else. The only recommended one that I would say, if you want to go and watch what Vosh is mainly about, there is an actual stream where he rang into what one could describe as a Nazi podcast. And there was a guy on it, drunker than I am now, giving off dogs abuse, doing all the dog whistles, doing everything towards Vosh. And Vosh was like, well, if I'm gay, do you want to go out with me? And really just started to trigger the guy. And yeah, I'm going to mute again.
that actually sounds kind of interesting to me. Like,
it's very interesting, Jeff. Very fun. Yeah.
Orla Seraph said, "Blank, who is not supposed to be spoken of, is a cunt muffin."
Yep.
I think you were supposed to blank out the first part of the muffin comment, but
muffin.
And that's actually very genuinely gentle. That's gentle coming from Orla. Orla is a horror fan, like a crazy mad horror fan, where at one stage she probably has it in her favorite pictures on her fucking phone. There's do you know Pennywise the clown? Yeah, imagine Pennywise the clown with a tentacle porn thing going on, and that's how scary Orla be. That's gentle from her. Alright, that's gentle from Orla.
Oh man.
Oh. So
yeah,
we digress.
I actually got a comment. Like, I started commenting with this new username on some stuff with Jill, and he's just coming back at me with, like, he seems to have this like routine that he uses on people. So he's just reverted back to, like, okay, you seem like a newbie, so I'm gonna give you Jill 101 kind of arguments and stuff. And like $100, he said in the comment to me, $100 if you can prove any of the stuff I said in my video was false, factually false. I'm like, I actually have a hard time. It would be better if you asked me, like, I'll give you $100 if you can find something that he said that was factually true.
Yeah, the list would be shorter.
Yeah, most of his stuff is just complete nonsense. Like, and he's gotten worse. He's gotten even crazier since he's, well,
He it was a jazz chat today. He called me a fucking coward for not being able to for not standing up and debating him. And anybody here, yeah, me, because I give him shit in the chat, and I've been trying not to. I really have been trying to ignore him. But my friend from Thailand just randomly was awake one time earlier today. When I was awake, I sent him the link. He came in, give Jill shit. I had to say something, you know. And he called my mate and he was like, "Are you actually a man? Are you a real man?" And then my mate stepped in and he called me a coward. And I had offered him a platform already. I think John will back me up on that. Be Mindful will back me up on that. Richard will back me up on that. We sat and waited for 20 minutes on a timer. And then I left the link open for 3 hours and he never turned up. And he called me a coward because I wouldn't debate him. And I was like, what?
yeah, he's a dick.
Did you see him calling me a sodomite today because I said talking to him this is funny, John. I don't know if you've seen this. He called me a sodomite because I talked to him in the chat. And in the chat, right, I had to go for a shower because I'd just been home from work and I'd been texting him. And I was like, I'm going to go for a shower because talking to Jill's just made me feel dirty. And Jill came into the chat and he was like, look, do you see how Math Pig's a sodomite? He's talking about being naked. He's talking about being naked in a group full of men. And then I waited 5-10 minutes and then I jumped in and I was like, Math Pig doing the helicopter just for Jill. And then loads of helicopter emojis. And then he was like, look, he's talking about being naked in a room full of men. He's doing this. And I was like, no, Jill, again, you're a liar. I said I was going for a shower, not that I was naked.
Yeah. You should have let him know, like, hey, Jill, you know what? If I'm gonna take a shower with a bunch of men, I'm gonna let you know that Messenger is lathering up my back just for you. I'm gonna let you know that.
I have no problem. I'm not joking you, man. Checking some of the UK streams, they actually come in about 7 p.m. That's just as I get home. I take it to the shower. The bounce back off the tiles makes it louder. It's great. You set it off over in the corner, and I'm having a shower, listening to you all, having a bit of fun. You know, I have been naked on stream. I wasn't today, so Jill was wrong. But I have been. I'm not saying I have any problem with it, but today Jill was wrong.
I don't know if that's a distinction that helps, though, Math Pig.
I'm just saying that it is possible, but today it wasn't happening and Jill was wrong.
Yeah, Jill doesn't understand the nuances that can occur within the realms of perversion that he finds so disturbing.
Right.
"Quote unquote" perversion. It's perversion to him. For other people, it's just like.
Well, let's go to a better topic or rivalry that's
please.
really heated. Hey, did you guys watch the streams over the last 2 days involving Skylar, Dr. Josh, and Praise I Am That I Am?
I only watched 4.
That's why I'm here.
All right, let's hear it. Why don't you start us off, Jeff?
Okay, so it's actually kind of important to
See why I didn't have a choice in whether that was happening or not. Go on ahead there, Jeff.
You said to take over your channel.
Oh, I did. No, I did. I did.
Before we were live.
No, I did.
Yeah, Matt,
I did.
And
No, go on ahead.
Matt is suddenly passive aggressive, like, "Oh yeah, fine, go ahead, take over."
Where's that messenger button again?
Let me.
He dropped
He put it himself. He put it himself.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love you, man. You're hilarious.
Oh, okay, he's back. All right. I was like, Jesus Christ, he makes Lucky the Leprechaun look trustworthy. I'm like, Jesus.
I thought it was old.
So I've come.
You waited too long. Try it again.
Man, everybody else had got it. You know, I had to pop your cherry. Messenger's got it. B got it the other night. You know, Richard's had it once or twice. You had to get some of the pig. I'm sorry.
Yep. You gotta get kicked.
You hit the pigsty.
I mean, what to say about this? What I want to preface this issue because when this happened, the like weird ass drama that happened with Praise and Olive and Jason and Jay Pasek and Nicola happened a few months back.
Yeah, it's at least 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks.
Yes.
At least. When that happened, it got completely perverted into something completely different. It was weird. At the time I was subscribed to Praise's channel, And the notification came through that he was going to be doing a live stream, and I tuned into it and I started watching it. So the clip that was shown.
Jeff, sorry to interrupt you, but he has 2 channels. Is this Praise Yahweh or is this Praise I Am? The channel that you're talking about.
Praise I am that I am.
No, Praise I am. Something has happened that he's not allowed to do live streams. Is this tied in with this?
No, it's not connected with the Praise I am that I am live stream restriction happened because of something that he did about 2 or 3 weeks back, where he showed he was basically showing whole segments of a Smithsonian documentary, and I think he got flagged by YouTube itself, where he was basically in like copyright violation.
Yep.
And so he got timed out for like 3 months, I think, 90 days. That channel did. He it's still there. It still exists. He just can't do.
Oh, he premieres and stuff on it. But yeah, sorry, I tangent. Go on ahead. I was just interested.
No, that's a good distinction to make, because the Praise YHVH or Yahweh one, that's the one that he's doing a lot of his broadcasts through now.
It's smaller known as well, so you can get away with saying less stuff when there's only 5 people watching instead of 15.
Yeah, right. So back then, Praise I am that I am, that channel was so big and wide, and he started this hangout, and he had Olive, that one woman that's on there. She's also from Oklahoma, and he had a few other people on there, and they started talking about some issues, and something had happened earlier on, and this is probably the most important thing about it. There was a miscommunication that happened earlier on between Olive and Jay, and it involved what Jay thought was a confusion about. He thought that Olive was unaware of the actual date or the actual age of her son.
Yeah.
Because of a comment that she made. And so he kind of made some jokes about it, and then he kind of was like questioning her about it, and she was unclear about she didn't really clear it up. She was very vague about the whole thing.
Really? Olive was vague.
Yeah. So this carried on to Nicola. Nicola picked up on it, and at some point during a video that happened, around about that time, Nicola made a joke, essentially referencing like, "Hey, you know what? Child Protective Services should be called to liberate your son from your neglectful ass." Essentially, that's what he said. Not a joke made in the the best of taste, but he made it, right? So he was trolling her. So this particular live stream, when it happened, I saw the notification for it. I jumped into it, and I noticed right away that Olive was already kind of tuned up. She was complaining about Nicola. She was complaining about Jay, and she was complaining about them making these kinds of veiled threats against her son, right? And so they kept talking about it, and while I was watching it and listening to it, it started getting more and more heated. So I sent some texts over to Jay, and I was like, "Hey, your boy Praise is saying some pretty disturbing things about you. You might want to get on here and maybe, if you can, maybe record this shit, because I don't know how long this is going to be on for, but he's saying some weird stuff." So my brother jumps on, he starts watching, and that's around about the time Jill starts saying he's going to kill Nikolai if he ever sees him. If I were an atheist, I would put a pistol in his neck and blow the top of his head off. And then he says something like, if I see Jay, I'll kill the motherfucker. I'll kill that cocksucker.
No, I'm not going to stand up for anybody, and what he said was absolutely deplorable. But I can say from someone who has had anger issues in the past that I have said things along them lines to people.
Sure.
In the moment of anger.
But here's where things got weird. Jay managed to record about 4.5, just under 5 minutes of this particular live stream.
I made a wee video about it.
Yeah, and that's what he kept.
Yeah.
Now, while I was watching it, I was like, "Shit, should I report this? What should we do?" And then Jill cut the feed. He just dropped it, and then there was about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour gap, and then they came back online. And then they resumed it, and then all of a sudden they're talking about Christian righteous indignation and the right to self-defense, and they just start talking about these topics as if That was what they were talking about before. But of course, it was involved in that. I think, and I was like, okay, you guys feeling a little bit guilty about the fact that you were threatening to kill people?
Well,
Okay,
they
I'm
probably
confused.
said
Was
that.
that Jill or was that Praise? Because you said Jill twice.
Sorry, praise. Excuse me.
Well, what probably happened, Jeff, is they had that, said that, realized what they said, jumped off stream, continued to talk in a private hangout, and then when they come back on, they just continued what was going on.
Exactly.
The
Which
fact
is
that
what
Praise
we-
doesn't have maybe editing software, or doesn't do that, his mic is always and all that, he mightn't be able to
Right.
delete. So the fact that he stopped it is for that reason.
Right. So when I watch this happen, it feels a little weird when you are watching, a live stream, and you see somebody, issuing death threats against a relative, and I recognize the username, like, hey, that's my brother that you're threatening to kill and blow away, and that's that other guy that you're mentioning by name. I know that guy too, and hey, maybe this shouldn't be happening, on YouTube. Didn't matter, but they cut the broadcast, he cut the feed, and then Praise came back with a new hangout, and then they kind of changed the topic a little bit, and then they started soft shoeing the thing. As my brother and I talked about it, he started discussing the issue with them. He reached out to them. They started telling him that the J that they were referring to, and to their credit, it reflected the fact that the 4.5-minute video that Jay had, verbatim, the only Jay they're referring to, they only refer to him by his first name.
Yeah, they do. The other J.
And so they said, no, it's the other J. We didn't refer to it was this J whatever. They come up with this new username. Now, what they don't mention, and it's something that I saw because I was watching the live stream and saw it happen, was that he issued more death threats than what Skylar and Josh played on their broadcast. He issued more of them, and he mentioned my brother's name by his full username, Jay Pasick, in the broadcast. And that's when I started getting concerned. I'm like, he's actually saying your full username and then threatening to kill you.
And you heard that live, or you heard a recording of that?
I heard it live. I was there live.
I know that
heard
they
it
did
live.
delete a stream.
Hmm?
I know that they did delete and unlist or whatever one stream.
And they deleted that stream. So then they come around, and so what's been happening now has been based on their representation of what actually happened. But what they've been saying is like, oh, the J that we were referring to was this other J. They were referring to the same Nicola, as if it makes death threats okay.
Nicola
To me,
pushed the
that's
limits. He does. Not they do. Not as much as
He does.
Vegeta, but they push limits.
No, he does. I mean, and he was definitely trying to push their buttons. But then Olive ended up equating most of his jokes. Like, it's easy for someone to say Nicola was making jokes in poor taste because he's talking about child protective services and all this kind of stuff. Fine.
Can we also confirm that Jay made a joke, your brother made a joke about keeping his wife in a fucking cage in the basement? Like,
And he actually didn't. He actually said that to One Way. He told One Way.
yeah, but that was a
to
joke.
lie.
I was there for that stream. I seen it as a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it happened and it was fucking hilarious at the time. Like,
But Olive is like, oh, Jay keeps his wife in
Yeah.
locked up in the basement. I'm like, no, actually, Jason was advocating that a One Way keep his wife locked up in a basement. If we're gonna split hairs, but
yeah,
whatever.
well, we could talk about that stream with Jay and One Way. I think where it was very late in the morning and they were both drinking and they were both smoking and the wife come on as well. Do you remember that one?
Oh God, yeah.
Ah, okay, moving on. John looks
Yeah.
bored, stupid. Give John a chance to talk. Mute, mute, mute. Go on, hit your button.
Can you all hear me now?
Go ahead. So, I think it's
no. So like, from what I get, it started off as Praise lost his cool and blew up at your brother, made threats and even quote death threats that were empty in their nature. It's just a ranting human being blowing up because he believes his friend has been threatened, offended, put down, belittled, whatever. Like, oh, you talked about Olive, you talked about her son, I'm going to show you my wrath.
Right.
So I believe Praise blows up, behaves poorly. They try to sweep it under the rug, cover it up, because later on he probably realizes I behaved poorly. I fucked up. I don't want this to be seen. It's a poor representation of God. It's a poor representation of what I believe. And so he tries to cover it up, but everybody has these clips.
Yeah.
And because he continues to deny them or say that it has something to do with something that it didn't have to do with, then I believe that it seems like Skylar and Jeff got together and said, hey, we're going to expose this lie. We're going to expose this fallacy.
Yeah,
we're
Jeff.
going to get to the truth.
Bad man. You said
And
Skylar
it
and
seems
Jeff.
like Skylar does his video with Dr. Josh yesterday. They expose all this stuff. Praise goes on his channel, kind of apologizes around it. I came into his live stream on the chat and kind of said, hey, you know what? Forgiveness is important. Everybody makes mistakes. And then it seemed to me like he started to own his responsibility in it. Like, yes, I behaved poorly. Yes, I deserve to be forgiven, which I believe human beings deserve to be forgiven for their poor behavior. But it seemed like he started to own some of the stuff. Like, yes, I did it. Yes, it was poor behavior. Yes, I shouldn't have acted that way. But it was, then people say it's disingenuous because he only did it because he got caught, which it doesn't make the apology disingenuous. It just makes the fact that it was only at that point that he was willing to acknowledge that indeed he behaved poorly.
Partially, he did talk to my brother, because my brother did like an 8-hour, stream, through the night into the early morning, and he showed up. The
Praise
problem,
did.
yeah, praise showed up, and they talked. I think they talked for maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm.
What I find objectionable about this entire thing is that most of it could have been avoided. Praise admitted when he was talking to my brother in his chat was that he and Olive lied about.
Of course.
They lied about the whole thing. They concocted this whole story about this other Jay,
Of course.
and all this other kind of stuff. The fact that they want forgiveness, I've got no problem with. My issue with this entire thing is that they've blown it off for months. They've blown off the effect that this has, because anybody that's approached them and said anything critical about, hey, you remember that thing that you did about the Nicola J thing, whether it was Jay Pasick or this other Jay that you guys talked about, you guys remember anything about that? They would laugh at those people, they would blow them off, they would treat them as if they were conspiracy theorists, and they would disregard them. They did this for months. And now they finally got into this situation, even now, on that particular hangout, Praise has essentially said, like, I don't care about this, and I don't want to dwell on it anymore, and all this other kind of stuff. That's neat to say, but here's the weird thing: Praise essentially admitted to my brother on his 8-hour hangout that he wasn't actually caught up in his emotions at the time. He chose that language because he thought that it needed to be more extreme to have an effect. Now that's a weird thing to say. If you're doing that kind of stuff, that means basically, and I think that's actually true. I think that what Praise is essentially admitting to is that this was really melodramatic, and I went extra melodramatic because I wanted the attention. And I wanted attention drawn to this particular issue because I wanted these guys to look like assholes. The problem with that whole thing is that what he did, blatantly violated YouTube rules. He issued death threats against these users.
Well, it's an empty death threat. It wasn't. There was no seriousness behind it. It was somebody behaving poorly because they had an inability to control their emotions in a moment in time. I don't think your brother felt threatened.
No, I don't think he. No, he didn't.
He laughed at it.
Here's the problem. That defense fails now because of what Praise told Jay. He didn't say it was because his emotions got the best of him.
But that's not the truth of it. But here's the thing. I heard the live stream on Skylar's channel. Okay. My expertise is in human behavior, in reading people and reading emotions. He was out of control. So I've heard him speak a number of times. I've seen him get heated in conversations and debates with both theists and atheists and agnostics to where he's getting upset. He was out of control. He may have said, oh, I did it purposefully. That's not the truth. I'm telling you, that would, if he said I did it purposefully to basically draw attention to something, I believe that's a lie. And I would sit there and say, Praise, you're lying right now.
I agree with you.
You're not being genuine about it, because he was out of control. He was lashing out. Like, if you ever witnessed or seen domestic violence in its full-blown scheme, that's an example of what you see in the home when somebody's lost their shit for
Okay.
whatever reason.
I guess so. So
So
what?
I think that second part is a lie to your brother when he says I did it purposefully.
I agree
Okay,
with
so
John on that 100%. As a person who used to have anger issues to the point where when my car broke down in a bad temper, I punched a concrete wall till I broke my hand. I've been in the. He was what my mother would call Red Robbie. Blinkers are on, can't see anything else. You're just fucking angry. You scream, you shout, you say your bits. You're out of control.
And that could be it. That could be it. What bothers me about this kind of thing, though, is that after that fact, he, Praise and Olive both spent weeks backing up these claims.
Of course.
They
Oh,
were
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
they
different
covered their
persons.
ass.
They just concocted all these crazy ass stories. So the one thing that I have no problem forgiving is a fit of rage, and I don't think my brother has a problem with that either. My issue, though, is with this kind of calculated story in order to preserve a reputation. Like, oh yeah, I did that because we were afraid for.
But you just gave the root cause of the reason behind lying. It was to protect a reputation. It wasn't to protect his own reputation. It was to protect what he believes in. Does that make sense? Like, if he really believes Jesus.
No, I think it was actually just to protect his reputation.
No, it's to protect what he believes he has purpose and value in. His purpose and value in his own mind, right, wrong, or indifferent, is a representative of Jesus and God. Okay, he violated that in his own worldview. He destroyed that in his own worldview, and he's ashamed of it. He's embarrassed of it. He wished it never happened, but he got caught up in a moment in the nature of his inner being that wasn't healed, wasn't healthy, wasn't whatever, behaved poorly in the moment, and he screwed up everything he had been, quote, working for up to that point of defending what he holds to be true in his deepest heart, which is Jesus is my Savior and God is what we should all be striving to worship and be a part of. And that he felt like, shit, if this gets out, this is going to discredit everything that I'm supposed to be doing as a representation of Christ. Therefore, I'm willing to also do something horrible, which is lying about it, to protect and preserve this image that I'm supposed to uphold. I'm not justifying it. I'm just trying to give it a rationalization for why somebody would do such a thing. So his reasoning for blowing up and his reasoning for lying kind of fall underneath the same thing, which is poor behavior, not having a healthy state of being to sit there and go, you know what I did was wrong. He felt like if I say what I did is wrong, I'm going to get destroyed by these atheists forever. They're never going to lit up, and I'm never going to be able to preach a message for somebody who's positive that isn't me.
Right. So the news stories come out where it's okay. This is okay because of righteous indignation. It's okay to react this way because it's self-defense, Christian self-defense, all this kind of stuff.
No.
Those are the videos that he was bringing out within the next week.
Yeah,
those were the exact same ones he was bringing out.
And I guarantee, if he ever let me sit down with him in a conversation like this, you would see a true come to Jesus meeting with him, to where I got him to sit there and go, you know what, you're absolutely right. I'm no longer going to defend it. I'm no longer going to apologize around it, and I'm going to stop lying about it. And I'm going to own it.
He more or less did that with Jay, but he did it in a way where essentially it didn't really seem like it was like a,
he doesn't know how to deal with it, though. That's my whole point. I'm not saying what he's doing is right. He has flaws, he has issues, but with that guy, like a lot of people that I still hold to be valuable in life, he's willing to learn and grow. He just doesn't know how to yet. So where he's still having failure, like I'll sit there and tell you, I have very little hope for Jill ever coming around. I have hope. I have hope. I have hope for somebody like Praise coming around with the right guidance. I'm not saying it's the right guidance because she's lost as hell. But with him, when you really hold him accountable to something without him feeling like he has to be defensive, he does okay with it. And I've seen it on numerous occasions where either somebody else or myself have spoke to him about truth in a way that he wasn't feeling beat up.
Okay, possibly. I still think
and that's why I like you and Jay, is because you guys will sit there and go, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah. My issue with this entire thing, though, is that I'll admit to it this way. That shit pisses me off. If an atheist did what he did, that atheist would be done. Simple. Clean as that. Just gone. There's no way that person's talking into it. Now, the only reason that Praise is getting any kind of, countenance at all is because first of all, he spun up a complete counter narrative that it had something to do with them being justified, being terrified for the life of Olive and her son, because Nicola's jokes rose to the level of death threats against them that justified Praise issuing death threats against, Jay and Nicola.
Well, yeah, it's a false justification rather than just saying, you know what, I behaved poorly. There's no excuse for it.
Right. I would have been cool with this whole thing if they had not devoted so much time over the last 3 to 4 months coming up with all these concocted stories about this. He's just now actually apologized to Jay for lying about the whole thing, which was the whole thing. That was the only thing that Jay was concerned about. Jay didn't feel threatened. Jay didn't need a personal apology. He didn't feel personally threatened or offended in any way. But the lying about it was what pissed him off. And he finally came out. Up until this point, the only thing that Praise has actually said that he was sorry for was that Jay felt bad because he misunderstood the direction of their vitriol. They were directing it at this other person, not Jay, not Jay Pasick, but this other Jay. And to me, that is actually worse than the death threats. They issue this stuff off in a fit of passion. Then they concoct this story to make it sound like, oh no, you're concerned that, oh no, we weren't angry at you. We were directing at this phantom person over here. And then he comes out and finally admits, yeah, it was you. Sorry.
Of course it was him. I mean,
yeah, of course it was. Everybody knew it was, but we were gaslighting you these past few months. And by the way, can we talk to you about the fruits of the Holy Spirit? At that point, Praise's ability to even talk about any of that kind of stuff now has been completely diminished. Like, how did you concoct this shit and carry this on for all this time and then continue to talk about your belief in God, your belief in the healing and changing power of the Holy Spirit and all this kind of stuff? You and Olive did X.
Right.
And now it's laid out in front of everybody. Now what do you do with it? I'm pretty sure
I have sinned.
Outside of the Rick Baker moment, I don't really think. First of all, I don't think that they're really all that sad about it, and I'm pretty sure within the next 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the audiences that they're involved in, they're going to be defending their actions.
I'll be there, holding it accountable.
Well, good.
How I am. I absolutely won't let up until I'm either booted or somebody's willing to acknowledge that thing.
Yeah.
That's just something I stand for, and I know that to some degree I have his ear. Just because there's been a number of different things to where I've either brought something to his attention or held him accountable for, and he didn't flat out refute it. And he actually considered and was thankful that he had received it, including some of that correction that I gave him last night on his stream. So if it does get to that point of what you're suggesting, I won't stand for it as a moderator on his channel and as somebody who I would say is somebody who's been friendly with me and I've been friendly with him. Now,
that's my concern is I'm waiting for him to
will not
stand the bad example of somebody like Jill.
Yeah,
I mean, reverts right back to the old bad habits. And
he and Jill, the only thing is they're trying to defend something that they believe in. They have nothing in common, the two of them. It's kind of like, hey, if you're not my enemy, then you're for me, so therefore I won't speak badly of you. And you see it in the atheist and agnostic as well.
Yeah.
But with them, they don't share a common belief structure whatsoever. So them supporting each other is just dumb because neither one of them even see eye to eye. And even Praise, who doesn't see me somebody who shares common religious beliefs, still values me as a human being, no different than I think you and your brother value me as a human being. And I think that's good, that we can have a dialogue that's healthy and meaningful and genuine.
Right.
So I'm hoping that if I can continue to be a part of that and bring him to, hey, let's be responsible, let's be accountable to these things we've done, I think he's willing to own up to those things and have a turn and say, you know what? It's absolutely right. I have responsibility for this. Yes, I did this. Yes, I lied. I covered up because of fear of being rejected and admonished for something that didn't represent what I'm trying to bring forth, which is my belief in God and Jesus. Yeah, he didn't represent God and Jesus very well that moment. And he knows it in his inner being. He doesn't know how to deal with it because nobody's given him that in guidance, okay? In guidance, he doesn't have the resilience to go, you know what? I fucked up.
Other than agnostics and atheists, like lining up to kick him between the legs, like hypocrite.
Well, and to some degree, I can understand why they want to do that, because when you get somebody who's going to argue with them and debate with them and tell them they're wrong and they're the heretics and they're going to hell, yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Well, he's certainly not going to get that from his echo chamber. I mean, he needs help from genuine friends who are honest.
Yeah.
And it didn't sound like he was going to get it from One Way based on some of the stuff that I saw coming out of.
One Way was just mindlessly defending him, which was just stupid.
And
One Way thinks he's like a chess player 16 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah, which is weird because One Way wasn't actually around, I don't believe, for the initial broadcast, the one where Praise went crazy and started issuing those threats.
Did you see he posted a 15-second video of a clip that he was claiming that Skyler didn't play during his video of the stream the night? The wee premiere that Skyler did, and then One Way went live for like 15 seconds just to post and make his point.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I don't know exactly, like he even said, that there was a clip that Skylar played where One Way kind of makes it sound like, hey, if you guys want to see what's going on, the video is available on Praise's channel. But it almost makes it sound like the video with the death threats is available on Praise's channel, but there's plenty of videos available. What he actually says is, there's a video where Praise explains what happened. Yeah, there's lots of videos. There's more than one where they touch on the subject and Praise gives his side of the story. But after that fact, it completely changed. The Jay in question wasn't Jay Passing. It was this fictional Jay that they were talking about. And then they started talking about all these death threats that Olive got and her son got. Not the joke that they received from Nicola, but actual death threats.
They were trying to validate the poor behavior. Yeah, they were trying to validate the poor behavior rather than just saying, I behaved poorly and there's no excuse.
Right. And now he's kind of admitted that, they lied.
Yep.
He hasn't really admitted that there's no excuse. They did it because they wanted to preserve their viewers, and they did it because you're an atheist. I think maybe it was
save face. Christians stick together.
Came out, but it was like,
Christians sticking together.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is there had to be something inside him that personally got triggered for him to behave so poorly. There just has to be. People just don't react that way for the reasons that you're saying, like either trying to stick with my brothers or stick with my camaraderie or come against atheist or draw attention to this or
I agree with
you. Moment. Like you've heard me be harsh with people, and people will be like, "Oh, look at Messenger's angry." I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm making a point. And if you talk over me, I'm going to talk over you, and I'm going to be harsh with you about your behavior.
In saying that, man, in certain circumstances, I have seen you say things in chat that I would consider, if you read between the lines, you're going, you have denied it. I know, and I've called you out on it, and I agree with you on certain things, but deny it all you fucking want, man. Sometimes you get the knife in. You do. We all like to get the knife in.
I don't get angry.
No, you don't get angry.
You get angry.
No, I don't.
I have, from what I've seen, I've not seen John get angry. Now I have not seen that many of John.
Don't mistake my passion and raising my voice for anger.
You do get indignant.
For sure, but no, absolutely. I raise my voice and I speak harshly to people. I'm just saying I don't feel angry toward them, and I know the difference because I used to be somebody that dealt with anger issues a long time ago.
Um, that being said, though, I think what's a concern to me though is that the nature of Praise's his apology to Jay.
I didn't hear that. Was that live or was that private, Jeff?
It was live.
It was live. It was during
3 hours and
Jay-
41 seconds or something like that. One way
yeah,
tagged it.
it's somewhere in the 8 hour block that Jay was doing.
Fucking
stand-up
8
in.
hours.
He showed up. Praise comes in. I don't think he's there from any longer than maybe 10 minutes, if that. But they have a discussion. That's where Praise admits to Jay that he and Olive lied and all this kind of stuff. But he basically says he doesn't care about it. He doesn't he's not even really worried about it. All this kind of stuff. So it's a weird apology. He essentially admits that they lied and they gaslighted people for weeks. But it's not a big deal, and he doesn't care, and he's willing to let it go. Now, Jay also probably is willing to let it go. The weird thing that I thought about it was that this was coming from Praise. Praise's reaction to this was, in the moment, I was angry about what Olive was telling me, and what I wanted to tell you was that what I wanted to say was that I'm going to beat up Jay. I'm going to kick his ass. I'm going to stomp his face in. I was going to say something like that. But in the moment, I realized that wasn't extreme enough, and I needed to use harsher language instead. So he decides to start talking about like killing him. That was part of his apology. Is him explaining like in the moment I was angry, and the language that initially came to my head was I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. But then I thought, you know what? That doesn't really get my point across. I want to put out language like I'm going to execute you if I ever see you in person. So I get the idea that he was worked up and he was behaving badly. He admits to that and says that by that result, he was going to say X. I'm going to kick your ass. I'll beat the shit out of you if I ever see you crossing the street. But then he says, yeah, I did that. And there was a conscious decision to escalate the language to this more inflammatory thing.
There can't be, though.
To get attention.
Here's the reason why. When emotions intensify, it actually blocks off access to your prefrontal cortex where thinking and reasoning actually occur. So when you're up in that intense emotion state of being, you're looking to lash out in whatever way you can to protect whatever it is that you feel that you're protecting. So when he was lashing out and using words like cocksucker, I mean, how many times do you hear Praise use cocksucker in his everyday language? He just doesn't.
Not often, yeah.
He just doesn't. He never. Like, that was the only time he's ever used that word. So for it to get to that point, his thinking and reasoning's fucking gone. In that moment, he's gone, and just thinking about what's the most malicious, negative, hateful, mean, threatening thing I can say to show Jay how much I hate him in this moment. Because I believe he was really feeling hate toward your brother. He wasn't threatening him because I'm sure he wasn't threatening him, meaning like he's not, premeditating, thinking, I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to go find out where this son of a bitch lives and I'm going to kill him. That's not in his demeanor. He's just not that mentality of a human being. But in this moment of rage and hatred, he's lashing out in every way he can conceive in a small part of his thinking and reasoning. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, he's gone. There's no way for you to kind of reel it back in a moment. Like if he says it 10 minutes later, then I would sit there and say, okay, he thought about it and said, oh, that wasn't good enough. Let me try this. He's in that moment. He's in that state of where the amygdala is going fucking nuts. Okay. To where he's in fight or flight, and he's escalated in anger and rage because of hatred towards the way he was perceiving your brother in that moment. He wasn't thinking. He was just reacting.
All right.
And so I'm not justifying it. I'm saying it's poor behavior. He has an inability to manage his emotions in that moment. He had an inability to think and reason in that moment. It's all on him for why he behaved poorly and what he lacked.
Sure.
It's not Jay's responsibility. Jay could have said, your mother's a bitch and I'm going to come fuck your children, and it doesn't give somebody the permission to come back at you that way. You could say all you want about my kids and wife. I'm not going to react that way. I'm not going to place value or importance on it. Praise for whatever it did, placed importance on something and reacted very poorly, period. It's all on him.
No, it definitely is. Well, I mean, I don't think that it's entirely just on him. I think Olive bears some responsibility to this. She helped spin this stuff up.
she's part of that concocted. We can't sit there and discredit our ministry based on this poor moment, based on these stupid atheists. And I'm sure there's some stupid ass reasoning that happens after the fact for the lie part of it. So for all the lies and all the defense of it, yeah, there's a lot more thinking and reasoning that's going on with that they're justifying of we're doing it for God.
Yeah.
No, because guess what? God and Jesus wouldn't behave that way, period.
But anyway, I've got to get to bed. I will let you guys go though. But
Thank you for coming to share. I appreciate it.
That was about it. I mean, as far as anything else, I think would have to come from Jay, because Jay had discussions with Praise afterwards. But yeah, my little piece of it was I saw the beginning of it. I watched the live chat. I heard what he said, and I heard more of what he said than what was recorded. The snippet that everybody got from when Jason posted it on his site, and when Skylar and Josh put it out there for the thing last night. That was a brief snippet of it. That wasn't all of it, and it wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it came later. And for me, the thing that ticked me off the most was just the gaslighting that happened afterward, where because they were using it on Jay directly. Oh no, we weren't talking about you. We weren't talking about you. That's not who we were talking about. I remember watching. I was there when it happened. They were specifically talking about him. They mentioned his username in full, and for that, I was just like, yeah, no, you guys don't. You're not getting a break from me. I appreciate your insight, though, Messenger. I think that you're right for the most part in terms of what's going on, emotionally and whatever. In terms of like how we let people off the hook and what we forgive them for, I guess I'll leave that up to you.
I'm going to dig into him some more. I'm going to dig into it some more. I'm not letting it go because I think there's getting him to be accountable for it. And accountability means submitting yourself to the explanation for your actions in a genuine way. So my goal is I want to try to get him to be accountable for it and then own it, which means I'm going to own my actions and behaviors without placing responsibility or blame on somebody else for them. If I can get him to be accountable and responsible for it, then I would felt like I did my job for his betterment of this, and then hopefully to bring a closure to all this.
Sure.
And if it doesn't, it's not on me. It's on him. It's not on your brother. It's not on you. It's not on even Skylar for their interaction for it. It really falls on him, and we'll see what he does with it.
Right. Well, I appreciate that insight, Richard. Good to see you. And Matt Big, thank you for trusting me long enough to bring me back here. I apologize for the new username again.
I have no idea what happened. I fell off my chair about maybe 45 minutes ago. I just got back up on it again.
No, I'm tired. I am sorry that I am now Jefferson Spatchcock. I was going to stay disembodied.
Is that really the best name you could have come up with? Like,
Jefferson Spatchcock? No, it wasn't the best name I could come up with. I can't come up with best names. I can only come up with shitty hobo names.
Man,
Jefferson
like the
Spatchcock,
best
that's
troll
the best
name.
I can get.
The best troll name I have ever seen is Moist Snatch.
Moist Snatch. Yeah, I was gonna come up with Tough Cunt. That was gonna be my next.
Oh, you
know
should have
what?
went with Tough Cunt.
They don't. They
Put
don't let
hashtags
that
in.
one
Put hashtags. C ##T. Everybody will know what it means.
I ain't that skilled at typing. I'm gonna forget that shit.
As a funny joke,
I got a couple
I
drinks in me. I'm not gonna be able to figure out my username. What was I? Tough hashtag. But what am I?
as a funny joke, I have a bot in the Discord server, and I tagged cunt in it. And whenever you say cunt in any way, cunty, start of the sentence, anyway in the sentence, the bot pops up and goes, curious.
Good to know. All right, that's my next step is getting this username into Discord. I gotta set up a Discord.
Or you can just see the one that you have that's disembodied dead. Go into the settings and you can change your directly in it straight to that. You don't have to delete or back up or leave or come back or anything. You can change your the way it is.
Oh, okay. I'll try that.
Yeah, well, if you've still got the disembodied one, tag me and I can send you like 2 pictures, not dick pics, and you'll be totally sorted.
You can send me dick pics if you want. I won't laugh.
Hey, my woman told me the only person that's ever bigger is the one black guy she went out with, so you just be quiet.
All right. You guys take it easy.
Take care, Jeff.
Have a good weekend.
One way, do you want in? Or are you still working? Thanks, Jeff. Bye. Talk to you later. Is Richard still there?
Yeah, Richard's still here.
I know B had to drive home, so B's driving home back to the really shitty
okay.
internet. So they might be back, they might not be back.
Gotcha. Remember, Sammy Jenkins is in the live chat.
Oh, yeah. Remember Sammy Jenkins? The link is in the appropriate
You want to
channel.
post it again?
Pardon?
You want to post the StreamYards again?
Ah, fucking go for it, man. I don't know what happens. For whatever reason, StreamYards will not let me post. It just won't let me copy and paste.
That's just odd.
I know, but if I do it on my phone, it works. Like, I have a channel completely created in the fucking Discord just for copying and pasting. I have to transfer stuff from the computer over to the Discord channel on the computer, and then I lift my phone and copy it from that back into the program again on my phone, and it works. It is the most annoying second step that I should not have to take in the fucking world, man.
Why?
Yeah, why should you have to? It just won't work. And I've controlled and paid. I've right clicked and copied paste. I've even went so far as
You do Control C and Control V.
Yeah. Oh, it's Control V. I had Control P.
Control C is copy and Control V is in Victor is paste.
Ah, well, I was using Control P.
Well, that shit ain't gonna work, dude.
Definitely not. It clearly hasn't. But right click and paste obviously doesn't work as well.
X is cut, C is copy, V is paste.
Okay, right. Well, seeing as you're so fucking smart, let's just check this, right? Where's the text button? There's the text button. Add that source. Add new source. Right? Oh my goodness, so many information. Right, let's copy and paste. And okay, we're gonna do this. I bet you it won't work.
Control P. No, V. V is in Victor.
Right, hold on. Control V. Oh, you go fuck yourself. That damn worked.
Show the tattoos.
No.
Show the tattoos.
It's all over the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, all the text is actually doing a little dance on screen. That's really so annoying. Okay, delete that. So, thanks for demasculating me.
X copy, C. No, X is cut, C is copy, V is paste.
Why the fuck would V be paste? That's like so counterproductive.
Because they're all right next to each other, and Microsoft wanted to keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I've nothing to say to that because they are right beside each other. But paste makes more sense.
Well,
P.
they couldn't get everybody to fucking rearrange the entire keyboard that had been out since like the 1940s, 50s. So they decided just to say, okay, V is paste.
Have you seen The Sphere? The movie The Sphere?
I have not seen The Sphere. What is The Sphere about?
The Sphere is where they're laying cable between England and America, and they
Sounds like pornography, laying cable.
no, they're laying cable, all right, and the cable gets cut halfway, 3/4 of the way, whatever, and there's a ship, an alien ship buried deep in the sea. It's been there for a couple of 100 years. Dustin Hoffman, not Lawrence Fishburne, Samuel L. Jackson. He hates it when you do that. I did it deliberately just in case he watches. There's a couple of other very famous people, and they go down, and you have a physicist, you have a biologist, you have a language specialist, you have a military specialist, and they go down to make first contact with the ship that's been there for 300 years. When they go into the ship, everybody's dead. They find a giant sphere, and when you look at the sphere, it gives you the ability to... I ain't gonna ruin the movie.
But it's good, huh?
It's very good, man. Yeah, it's got a well-studded cast, and
Who are the actors in it, or the actresses?
look, nobody's
I guess
gonna watch this.
actors, no?
Well, provided that fucking he who shall not be named jumps in. Watch this, right? Let me see. I should be able to do this, and I will show you the trailer.
Trailers are good. That won't be a spoiler.
No, we should be grand. We should be okay. Can we open a new screen? Where's the new window? There's a new window. Drag it over here.
Live stream coming up. trailer for The Sphere, and we're going to do a review on it.
Classic trailer. Of course we want the... oh, there's the classic trailer.
Christmas decorations, aka the special.
Look, there it is, the gold spear.
Welcome back, Richard.
I smoke cigarettes sometimes.
Okay,
Smoking's bad. Okay.
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 You're ruining it now. Or no, you're providing an opportunity to pause and comment so we don't get done for copyright.
You gotta turn this way up because I can't hear anything.
Hold up. Okay, sorry.
That's Dustin Hoffman.
Yes, wrong television. Give me 1 second and it'll get super loud.
What the hell is it? Whatever it is, it seems to be what this bird was designed to do. Go out into space and gather things like this up and bring it back.
Yeah, but back from where? Don't get too excited, Ted. Turn this thing over, it'll probably say made in Korea. Somehow I doubt that, Harry.
No doors,
No
no
Fishburne.
hinges of any kind.
I'll bet you if you put a laser micrometer on this thing, you'd find that it was a perfect sphere. I mean, perfect down to the thousandth of an inch. That's a message in and of itself. Really? What do you mean? Well, when Pope Benedict asked Giotto for a drawing to prove his worth as an artist, Giotto drew a perfect circle. Freehand. Perfection. It's a powerful message.
I know what the Zen masters would say.
What's that?
This ball wants to be caught.
No, nobody built this thing looking into their third eye, Beth. They went to a lot of trouble and they didn't do it for nothing. Something put this thing out there to get picked up and brought back.
Oh, are you intrigued? Oh, you're super intrigued. Super.
I am intrigued.
Yeah. Super intrigued. And it's really old. You could probably get the damn thing on fucking YouTube, man.
1998 old.
Yeah, there you go.
Starring Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone, Samuel L. Jackson, Peter Coyote, Liev Schreiber was in that scene. Queen Latifah's in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis and the News is in this thing.
Amazing movie.
I have not seen this. On Information Movie Database.
Hold on,
IMDb,
there's probably an echo. I need to switch back.
It has 6.1 out of 10 stars, so that's not too bad. I'm definitely gonna buy it. I'll probably get it for like $3 to $5 on Amazon.
I'll tell you what, John. What that really means is that was over most people's heads. that rating, I'm serious. It's over most folks' heads.
6.1's a good movie. It really is.
You've obviously seen it, Richard, yes?
Well, I grasp the concept. I haven't had time to watch it, actually.
It is absolutely amazing. It's one of them ones like The Abyss, you know, that same sort of genre, that
The
same
Abyss
sort
is
of...
really good.
Ah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just...
The Abyss had Michael Biehn was in The Abyss. He played the Navy guy, and it had what's the other guy's name that was also like in The Rock? And
What's your favorite B movie? Like, we're not, you know, don't bring...
Probably like Porky's.
Oh, I love Porky's. I actually still make the joke incriminating mole.
That penis had a mole.
An incriminating mole. Just get their dicks out. I know who it was.
Can we call it a tallywhacker?
Man, there's 20 years between us.
Principal Carter, can we please call it a tallywhacker?
There's 20 years between us, and Porky's is still amazing.
He's like, I think I have a solution, Miss Bellbreaker. We can have the police send down a sketch artist.
If nobody has seen Porky's, you have no idea about that incriminating mole.
Can give a description. Have you seen this prick?
Well, that's a good answer. That's a great answer. And you've maybe made me forget what one I was going to say. Richard, what's your favorite B movie?
I think the most foreign thing we've ever seen in a sci-fi movie was The Blob.
Ooh.
Now the blob is based on an actual animal on. It can't be considered an animal. It doesn't have a gut tube. On an actual one-celled animal that makes pseudopods, fake feet, and captures its prey by being able to make any shape that it wants to.
Interesting, because the blob terrified me as a young child.
Right.
That
Right.
movie
That is so
terrified
scary.
me. No, that I was not going in the basement for nothing because that thing was coming out of the pipes. I didn't go near the bathroom drain for months. Yeah, Jaws, terrifying. Blob, terrifying. Exorcist, terrifying. Amityville Horror, terrifying. Those are all my childhood. I had horrible stepfathers. Yes, I did.
Let you watch them too early.
Or they did. I got taken to see Jaws when I was 4.5.
I watched Conan the Barbarian at 8.
Yeah, take a 4.5-year-old to see Jaws. Why not?
I thought Conan the Barbarian at 8 was fantastic.
I saw Conan the Barbarian. I want to say I was 11, maybe 12 years old. So what is that, like 82, 83, somewhere in there? 81?
I was just born.
Conan the Barbarian was, I was like, oh, it's PG. It's R-rated when we get there. My uncle's
John.
like, oh, it's PG.
John, my favorite B movie ever, and not only is it one of the best B movies ever, if you can watch this at once and understand it, then I will claim you are a prophet.
Okay.
You must watch this movie at least 5 or 6 times to get what's going on. I will play the trailer, and if I do this right, it should work again.
Do I gotta name this in like 5 notes?
This is an advert, okay? I don't support Dior in any way.
I mean, you've got the $400 billion. You've gone the charity route. You have this perfect 100-room mansion with matching his and her yachts and helicopter pads. How do you fill your day? What do you do?
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to read this. And you're going to listen. And you're going to stay on the line. And you're not going to interrupt. You're not going to speak for any reason. Some of this you know. I'm going to start at the top of the page.
Inside the box, it's like the street. Both ends are cul-de-sac.
They took from their surroundings what was needed and made of it something more.
Aaron, I can imagine no way in which this thing would be considered anywhere remotely close to safe. Why not the lottery? You have a margin account, right? For now, though, if you wanted to, you can just tell her you had a good day in the market. You don't understand. No. You don't understand the questions that come with that, okay? Hey. Oh, come here for a second. Tell me, man. You bleeding? Did you see that? I swear that was him. What the hell is he doing? Just sitting outside my house at 2 in the morning. There's no way I would tell anyone about this. No way. Can you think of any reason that you might? No, I can't. Sometimes we do things. No, we don't know how we got to that. No, I can't. Can't what? I can't think of any reason why I would.
There was value in the thing, clearly. That they were certain of.
Money. We'll make money.
Nope. The results. And I've ever seen that or even seen that trailer.
Right, well, the premise of the movie is, do you see that thing that they were making in their garage at the very start?
I did, but I have no clue what it was about.
Yeah, well, it actually turns out that that's some sort of a time machine that allows you to travel back in time to the moment that it was created. And you see the very, very last scene with them boxes? They were the extension of that, where they extend the time device to the point where they can climb inside it. So they then climb inside it, spend 6 hours sleeping inside it after creating it like a week before, and then when they wake up, they're back in time a week before. And there's like a whole repeat function thing that goes on, and that's all I'll say, man.
Interesting. Somebody said you can see this on YouTube. Dr. Zayas.
Did Dr. Zayas just turn up? Is this Dr.
Dr. Zayas and Kate the Atheist are in the line.
Wait. The repercussions of that is if you create an auto function, this is like Doctor Who, where he can't be killed.
Yeah, you see, you have to. That's time paradoxes is in there, man. Time paradoxes is in there. You need to watch the movie. It is absolutely fantastic.
Okay, my only question is, do they keep their experiences in their memory as they go forward in time, and can always return to an original time?
You know, you see, this is the thing, right? So they say, for talk's sake, it's Monday, and they create the device. They wait to Friday. They get into the device. They then get out of the device on Monday, and they avoid themselves for a week, but
right,
do things that's happening, and then at the end of the week they then can continue on, because the person who was originally there in the first timeline is now back in time. You have to watch it like 3 or 4 times, and then probably a YouTube explainer. And it's been out since 2004, and I've watched it like 10 times, and I'm still, it's one of them time paradox fantastic B movies.
Dr. Z says, Math Pig, I am here.
For sci-fi, for B movie, for, Jesus, I just looked at the who's watching. We played Primer, we got 12 views. But yeah,
everybody's waking up in the other parts of the world.
Yeah, I am gonna have to go to bed. I'm gonna round it up in the next 10 minutes.
Was it like 6 a.m. there?
It's 10 to 7.
10 to 7. Shit. Well, yeah, it's 10 to midnight here.
Well, no, we've been going for 1 hour and 27 minutes, 7 seconds. We'll go for another 3 minutes. Has anybody got any questions from the live chat?
There's no questions.
Wait, that's my thing.
Hey, I'm gonna steal Richard line. We're all gonna be great friends one day.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the way you made the
I really do believe that,
Oh,
I don't think one
ifs,
day.
Ands, or buts. I don't understand that part because you and I haven't delved into it, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts that what you say is 100% genuine in your brain.
Oh yeah, I'm convinced.
Of course, like you're one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met.
Brother, thank you. I wasn't always like this.
Everybody. When
He actually has taken his beard off, and he's wearing a hat.
Wasn't like that originally.
He really doesn't have. I says, you really don't have a beard, and you're hiding all your bald head with a hat. That's why he's no camera on. It's a clip on. It's a clip on.
Right. Sure.
That shit's getting thicker, Richard. Not on top.
No, generally I find as you get older,
You gotta go bald on top and then just grow the beard.
I find as you get older, things that grow out generally move down your body. You used to have long, thick hair, then it gets to your belly, and poor thing. We gained a subscriber for that. Way right. Richard and John, I really do appreciate you coming on, and yeah, John.
Hey, Matt, can you just leave this on, or John, you want me to? Can I skip over to your channel, John? If you're not tired, I'm not either.
Richard, I am actually heading out for the night because my wife will be home with the girls, and I think she yelled at me last time I was up till 2 or 3 in the morning, so I'm gonna avoid that discomfort.
Okay. Well, you email me, bro.
You and I definitely need to talk again soon and get together either on my stream, your stream, or anywhere just to kind of converse for sure. Even if it's private.
I think it's a huge compliment. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, it's mutual, buddy.
I think we can all say that we're genuine assholes on this stream right now.
Well,
We all are.
how
We
does
all
one define asshole? Is genuine, loving human being? Sure, we're all assholes.
are. Say it as it is. Everybody should say it as it is.
I was considering earlier, John, when you were muted and apparently not listening. You weren't. I mean, you were in the stream, but you weren't active.
Yeah.
I looked up at the screen and I saw 4 people that I love, and I thought to myself, I've heard many times in my life, if you have 3 genuine friends your entire life, you're very blessed. And I look up at the screen, I see 4.
That there's some affirmation, like in the affirmation within you.
As Richard, as you said, John, and as what you hope that Richard happens, let us all be friends. I don't think that we need to wait. There's a few people that I would have on here and have a bit of banter with and all the rest of it, and actually put up with my shit. And very few people's got control of my channel. Richard and John's probably so far. There's only been 2, but I really do.
Oh, what I mean is someday Jill will love you and you will love Jill. That's what I mean.
No. I really, really don't think that will happen unless somebody
wait till after he's fixed and then make the statement.
Fixed. Are we sending him?
He's broken right now. He won't be broken forever.
Are you sending him to Total Recall to give him an entire memory wipe, or me and him spend a Hawaiian holiday together, where I buy him cocktails and get him laid, or cause
no, but actually in truth. Not in lies.
Richard, you have said an awful lot of things, and to the point where I have had
the craziest thing you ever heard, right?
Yeah, you knew exactly right.
You said some outlandish shit, but you really crossed the line right there, Richard.
Yeah,
that's okay.
There's some mad things out there on the internet, like intelligent design, flat Earth. But me and Jill going for a pint together, unless at the end of it ends up with me smashing it. And so yeah, we're gonna end the stream before I get demonetized. Before I get demonetized. I really do appreciate everybody turning up. It's been.
Thanks for doing this, Math.
Man, I had nothing else to do. My woman went to bed and I fucking don't sleep. So what else have I got to do but talk to you, agents?
There we go.
Your face. No, do it again, Messenger. Can I make you full screen while you do that face that you did whenever you come back off after being kicked off?
There it is.
There we go. There's at least one.
Screenshot that shit?
Yeah, I'm gonna screenshot that shit with like a speech bubble. What the fuck? I'm gonna make that the thumbnail for today's video.
Like, how did I get dropped from this fucking stream? I was just starting to talk. Because I was like, who dropped? And I'm trying to figure out who dropped and realized it was myself.
That's gonna be the thumbnail. Check back in 20 minutes, people.
I got booted.
Right. I'm going to end this, and yeah, thanks everybody for turning up. Appreciate it. And
live chat, you have a good night. Keep being better versions of yourself.
Bye.
Peace and respect.